In this video, we're going to be discussing the harmony between science and religion.
And we'll be interviewing and have some comments.
And a lot more, so stick around for ever-advancing human civilization. Welcome to Ever-Advancing Human Civilization, and we're going to start off with a few interviews, but before that I'm going to ask Masood, do you have anything inspiring to share with us this week?
Yeah, so one person that inspires me a lot is Brian Cox. For those who don't know who Brian Cox is, he is a physicist in the UK and he does a lot of BBC documentaries on, universe, solar system, science, basically science documentaries.
He's very cool.
He is very cool, very cool. So what inspires me about Brian Cox is that he can take a scientific concept and convey that in a normal speak, kind of.
So we can all understand him.
We can understand him.
He's a nerd for the people.
He's a nerd for the people. Yeah.
So let's go to the interviews now.
Yeah, interviews. So our topic is on harmony of science and religions.
Both science and religion work together. They're also not, their jurisdiction is not completely separate. It's not like science works only to look at what's physical and what's astrological, and religion is bound only to, what's spiritual. They actually do help each other, and we see a lot of gaps in our understanding of science, which over time, the concepts of religion will help to fill those voids as well.
See a picture unfold through developments made in both science and in religion. So for example, if we have a look at Baha'u'llah and his prophecies and prophesizing things that will happen 1,000 years from now, that for example the oneness of mankind is a principle, is inevitable, that the world will come together as one. These types of things, to see the way that science is sort of step by step able to almost come to the same conclusion, as our world gets smaller through technological advancements, through the interconnectedness of people, for example, just humans to each other and countries and this kind of thing, how it's able to be explained, and whereas at the time of Baha'u'llah, with the early believers, we perhaps accepted it through faith, the things that he spoke of in many years through scientific advancements. Will then perhaps be able to understand it, which will then also enhance our faiths.
I think education is a big role, plays a big role, because once people are educated, then they're able to investigate truths for themselves, and it also allows the science to expand. And if it's in harmony with religion, the science is targeted to a way that helps the world towards the betterment of the world, as opposed to the destruction of the world.
For me, it's really born on the principle that both science and religion contribute to the finding of truth. They support humanity in pursuing its ability to understand what's around it. We as people, we're intellectual beings, we're physical beings, but we're also spiritual beings, and we need these arms of science and religion to support us to understand, who we are, but also what our role in society is.
So those were some interesting thoughts. Yeah,
yes,
from some of our audience.
Yeah.
And it's a very good point that religion and science have complementary roles to play in our lives. And as a matter of fact, I have a quote from Some Answered Question. So this is the idea of some scientific concepts being discussed in the holy books, in previous holy books. So in the Quran, actually some of the scientific facts were mentioned.
Right.
And Abdul Baha in Some Answered Question says, but there are some verses revealed in the Quran contrary to the theory of Ptolemaic system. So Ptolemaic system was the previous scientific system that thought that the earth was flat. So that was one of their beliefs. One of them is the sun moves in a fixed place, which shows the fixity of the sun and its movement around an axis. Again, in another verse, and each star moves in its own heaven. Thus is explained the movement of the sun, of the moon, of the earth, and of other bodies. When the Quran appeared, all mathematicians ridiculed these statements and attributed the theory to ignorance. Even the doctors of Islam, when they saw that the verses were contrary to the accepted Ptolemaic system, were obliged to explain it away. So that was and this was actually 900 years before Galileo. Yeah.
And in fact, there was a lot of advancement in science during the Islamic period, and informed a lot of the scientific advancement in the Renaissance and in Europe.
Yep.
So, there were obviously mathematicians and geologists and geographers, cartographers, philosophers, and they were all Arabic and Islamic. So, yes, there was already the idea that science and religion were in harmony, and did not have to be mutually exclusive.
Exactly. So this is the concept, I guess, we're trying to discuss, is that there's always been an element of both sides. So they're not necessarily mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
And it's reality. So we're trying to discover reality from two points of views.
And I think what's important is the fact that if science says one thing and a religion says something else, then obviously science is open to verification.
That's right.
And so we would put science before a religious belief, such as the age of the earth or something like that. So we do have to, realize that scientific fact is a very important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Obviously, in religious also there's consultation. So it's something we don't understand. We try to consult
we
with each
consult
other.
on it. We look at the science and so on.
Yeah.
So we hope that, and if you have any comments to make on this topic, we would encourage you to write something below or send us a little video of your comments, which would be even better. We can include it.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. So now, Lynette, we come to our artifact section.
So shall we talk about the last one?
Yes, definitely. So there was a poet that you read?
There was a poem that I read, and it was, and I asked whether you knew the title of the poem and also the poet. Yep. And if you knew the title, you would know also which film it inspired and who it was about. So the poet his name was William Ernest Henley, and he lived between 1849 and 1903. The poem was entitled Invictus.
Invictus.
And
that was a movie, wasn't it?
And that was a movie starring Morgan Freeman, who played the part of Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela,
and
that's
that poem was read during the film.
During the film.
And so that was the artifact that I hope that some of you knew that at least.
Yeah.
And indeed, if you have any other questions or comments, preferably a video comment or question, that would be great. Please do leave it below. And we'll see you next time.
So thank you for watching. And excuse me. And if you'd like to subscribe, please click on the subscribe button. And until next time,
peace
and goodwill.